So it looks like we're back with another DC Universal Online video, and in today's video, we're actually going to be breaking down the best trolling powers to use in 2025. Now, for you newcomers, if you haven't known, I've actually been an original player. I took about a 2-year break, and now since I'm back, I'm coming back for good. Trolling has always been my main role in this game, and the only 2 times that I've ever switched was to try out tanking, and that's when PvP was still good in this game. So it's been a while. With that being said, you guys know what to do. If you enjoyed this video, then go ahead and give it a big thumbs up, comment down below on your preferred role, and subscribe to the channel for more content. Let's jump into this. Okay, so to start things off, I just want to say this is my opinion, and I will be doing my absolute best to break down why I think these powers are in this specific tier list. Now, since I've been a troll for, I mean, dude, I think it's been like 12, 13 years now. I think this is a solid list so far, but I'm still curious of what you guys might think about your own tier list. So on the comment section below, let me know what you guys think from 1 through 5 on your best trolling powers. With that being said, we're going to be comparing all the powers with what I think is best for battle trolling and also buff trolling. I am a main buff troll, so I'm going to be talking about that first, but I'll still hint out about battle trolling. If I'm being bloody honest, I think buff troll is far more important than battle troll, but again, there's a lot of people who really like doing damage, so if you're one of those people, you're probably going to like this list. So starting off in first place, I think honestly, there's not a lot of people that can argue me about this, but Quantum is literally the safest and easiest route. And I'm just talking in general, even with elite runs. So if you're a beginner player and you're trolling, just kind of prep yourself. I really do think you should start off with Quantum. It's a very easy power to use, and there's an ability called Quantum Tunneling that will come in clutch, especially now since we're running B&E or B&E plus. Dude, that first boss with Grundy is extremely annoying. Even compared to Martian Manhunter, at least Martian Manhunter locks onto you and kind of gives you what, like 2-second window to escape, but Grundy, once he locks into you, if you're not paying attention, you're gonna get wiped, you're gonna get one-shotted. And for trolling, it's the heart and soul of the raid. So if you get dropped, if they can't pick you up fast enough, that's it. Everyone's gonna eventually die, unless your damage is extremely fast, which I doubt it in B&E plus. Maybe you might get away with it with B&E, but not B&E plus. Hell no. Now, why Quantum first place? Well, before animations actually really counted a lot, and because of that, that's what really made Quantum probably like maybe 3rd or 2nd place. Now, I still think animations does matter, but depending on the specific artifacts that you're using, it pretty much cancels it out. And for Quantum, dude, there's just so many abilities that have stuns up the ass, and because of those stuns, you can maintain your buffs for a longer time, and it's a whole lot easier popping them because they're getting stunned. And if you're using the Sinestro power ring like me, then you'll notice the consistent uptime with it. Now, I will say, compared to the 2nd and 3rd place, it does lack a little bit with like the rotation wise. It's just a little bit slower, which kind of concludes the whole animation thing. But that's why second place is really not that far off. Now, this is specifically for buff trolling. I think Quantum is the easiest and safest route. Now, Quantum does do a lot of damage, so if you want to go battle trolling, you can, but there's a reason why 2nd place could possibly beat it with battle trolling. So speaking of 2nd place, it's gadgets. There's just no way in hell this is not in 2nd place. Now, if you're specifically talking about buff trolling, it does lack power just in general. You blow through your power a whole lot faster than you would as Quantum, but for battle trolling, you'll do a whole lot more damage with gadgets being equipped rather than Quantum. So this right here would be for battle trolling, and then Quantum and would be first place, and then gadgets would be even second for buff trolling. But again, these are really like not far off from each other, so whichever you pick would really suffice. Unless you're a beginner, I really do think you should start off with Quantum, just because Quantum tunneling is definitely going to help. I know that you know, in gadgets we only have the holographic decoy, which will potentially confuse the enemy, but it really doesn't work with Grundy like that, man. You really got to get out the way. So if you're new, I would definitely recommend sticking with Quantum. Now, coming in 3rd place, this is where things will get a little bit talked about. I would probably squeeze a little bit of wiggle room with this, but I think it's safe to say that Munitions would definitely take 3rd place. It's really not that far off from gadgets, and when it comes to damage itself, it is very good, especially with ads. The 2nd boss in B&E has Superboy with a lot of ads in there, so I think using Big Gun with Munitions as a battle troll would definitely help. And honestly, as a battle troll, I think maybe this would be your safest bet, this right here. It would be gadgets, Munitions, and then Quantum. But if you're trying to be a buff troll like me, then I'd pick kind of like this one right here. So just quantum in first, gadgets in second, and then munitions in third. The animation time is actually very good. You don't get stuck in any animation whatsoever. Now, it's definitely not the meta for buff trolling, which is why it's in third place. But because of the Sinestro ring, like me, if you use it, then it has good AoE bursts. Now, talking about animations in general, these are the two powers that lack it a lot. And if you are running B&E consistently like me, then you really don't want to get caught off guard, because Grundy, I'm telling you, dude, he is a problem. And then Superboy does have the skull, which is the laser. You get anywhere near that, you're pretty much dead. So hard light would be next, simply because the rotations is really good, but I think this so far is the only ability that has a singular multi debuff power. So that's what kind of makes it slack a little bit if you really want to use that. It's just kind of just the animations long. That's pretty much it. It's just like Celestial if you guys are a healer. The animations are just way too long, and if you can't get out of the way, you're kind of just less versatile and your movement is very slow. So hard light would stick with this. And then last place, if you guys haven't guessed it, it's mental. I think mental is just not doing so hot. It was definitely a broken power when Brand of Hecate and Bob Comlink were new as artifacts. Everyone would duel with mental. I mean, it was a pain in the butt, dude. That was a very annoying time in DC. So to see mental in last place, I think it's a benefit. I'm not the biggest fan of using mental, so which is why people can argue about it 100%. But I think overall, with damage wise, maybe this one would beat hard light. If you're trying to do battle trolling, I think mental would definitely top hard light in a way. But for buff trolling, I'd stick with hard light. It's just a whole lot easier in my opinion, and the chain combos are very more it's just more fun too. I think mental is very boring, to be honest. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the tier list. Everything could definitely change. And to speak about battle trolling and buff trolling, like I said, at least in my opinion, buff trolling is a whole lot much more easier and, you know, much more requested, especially for DPS comps like that. They need someone to buff their might. Now, trolling in general, if you guys are interested in becoming this role, just be well aware it's probably the hardest role, just because everyone's reliant on you. And if you're not running with a consistent team, then you're going to have to rotate your artifacts depending on what your DPS is prioritizing, whether it's precision damage or might damage. If it's might, then of course you got to use claw. If it's precision, then you want to use cog, and so on and so forth. So if you're a beginner player, I would definitely recommend just kind of expanding your palette if you just haven't done any research on healing, tanking, or DPSing. But still, if you want to go for trolling, I think you'll have one hell of a blast. Just tread careful. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next one.